Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Spencer Tillis.
I'm Trayvon Miles.
And this is the Delmarva Sports Insider. Coming up in just a few minutes in today's episode. Milford was looking to make a charge towards the top of conference, but could they pull off a win late against Indian River?
And Coach Bobby Collins and the UMES men's basketball team going for their 5th win in 6 games, taking on Savannah State. Highlights coming up.
Let's go Hawks. Plus, the SU men's basketball team was riding a 3-game win streak into their conference match against Marymount. Could the Gulls make it 4 straight? Well, stay tuned to find out. But we start today with what ended up being the most significant and biggest game of the week. Then undefeated Parkside on Tuesday night put their perfect mark on the line when they traveled to play Pocomoke. First place in conference potentially on the line for both squads, and this one proved to be a battle. Jawan Williams here early on gets a lay-in to go for the Rams, but his team fell behind 15-4 early on, and that's because a lot of this right here. Ramir Smith gets the steal. They go the other way, and then he's going to take this thing all the way in for 2. A huge night for him, and more on him in a moment. And then Jawan Williams was the counter for the Rams, though. Pulls up for 3 right here, puts that in. Actually, his team fought back and had the lead, but the Warriors again find the answer. This time, Jawan comes up with a block, but Smith again comes up with a thievery. He's going to take this thing all the way in for the steal, and then for the 2 right there. He finished with 32 points and 13 rebounds in this. And how about this? Pocomoke shocking the world. They're coming out of nowhere. They take this thing 83-69 the final. And hello, Pocomoke, you have finally arrived. I tell you what, they've been flying under the radar a little bit, but for a one-loss team, they are seriously starting to put together some serious things. I said a while back that they might be the most scrappy team that I have seen, and they needed to have that signature win to prove it, and they got it here. And how about this kid, Dejor Mills? I'm telling you, he is a dark horse right now for Player of the Year. Another huge night there. And then on Thursday night against Snow Hill, he followed it with, get these numbers, 36 points, 10 rebounds, 7 steals, 6 assists, 3 blocks. I mean, those are the only stats that they actually keep track of. This guy lights it up. He is amazing right now. And that squad, I mean, they're impressive right now.
Yeah, I said it last week, and I'll say it again. You could never count out Pocomoke. Once again, Parkside getting down 10, 20 points in a game. We knew it would bite them one day. I have a strange feeling that these teams will be moving in our power rankings. We'll have to wait and see a little bit later on. On to our #1 team in Maryland. Oh, Parkside went down, was our #1 team in Maryland, and on to our #1 team in Delaware, Polytech. They also had a tough task taking on Smyrna. What a battle this one turned out to be. Big man John Pierce Jr. stepping out, showing the finesse. The head coach's son had a game-high 20 on the night for Polytech. But let me tell you something, Smyrna came out angry. Only 3 seniors on this team. Here's 2 of them. Latrell Leader, Stedman Pana.
3 feet short of that dunk.
Pana with the strong finish. Eagle straight up told Polly, look, we ain't scared of y'all. Pana to the rack again. Look at him. Get off of me, man. Later, check out the freshman Caleb Matthews. Drops one in for distance. Smyrna leading 17-16 after 1. But Polly's veterans, the senior wing, Jawan Gray, they would settle down. Gray gets the and 1 to go here off the drive. Polly will get that huge front court going. Big man Devon Mallory steps out, hitting one from downtown. Polly survives once again, holding off Smyrna 55-42. I'm not really sure if this game was an indication or a red flag of how bad Polly played, because I don't think they necessarily played bad. I really think it was just a testament to how good Smyrna actually is. They came out with their own student section, came out punching Polly in the mouth. You know what? Coach Pierce and his crew stayed calm and rode their big man. I like it. Like I said, quality. Big-time win in the Henlopen North when you think about it.
At the end of the day, a win is a win. They are racking them up now. That actually makes 10 for this team. I mean, they are looking really solid right now. I tell you what, moving forward, though, it comes down to Jawan Gray. These guys are massive. They can space the floor, and they are in the driver's seat right now for that conference crown. It's going to be interesting when it comes down the stretch if anyone can make a challenge towards them. But right now, it feels like they're just head and shoulders above the competition.
You ever seen any big men that can shoot like Polly's big man?
Besides myself? Is that what we're talking about right now? This guy. Well, taking it over to Salisbury, a huge rivalry game Thursday night when Y-High hosted Bennett. This one was tight throughout. It was actually a 4-point game here late in the third before Paul Morgan, all 2'7" of him, pulls up from range and puts that in for the Clippers. And then L.J. Carter gets his team back in it, gets the steal. He's going to take this the other way, glide in for the easy score right there. And then it was still a 2-possession game here in the 4th. Torrey Brittingham went off, drills the transition 3 there. He scored 8 straight points to give the Indians a double-digit lead, but the Clippers not giving in. Michael Jean Charles showing a lot of heart in this. He actually had a cast on his hand after hurting it the other night. Finished with that one right there for 2, but the Indians would put this thing away. Lionel Batson, the GOAT, working the glass there, gets the O board, finally gets one to go. and that was a massive bucket as it gave them a 5-point lead right there, and they would go on to win that thing. 64-55 the final there. And see, the thing is, Bennett is killing me right now, man. I want to say this team is better than their record. I want to see them happen, but they just can't seem to get past they keep getting it in their own way, and that has been their MO all year long. Jordan Duffy, of course, was suspended in that one after he had gotten tossed earlier the week on Tuesday. They had 3 other players that got in trouble in school that day that were shorthanded, not able to play because of that. And then during the game, I mean, Barry Gaines and Michael Jean Charles were both banged up, battling through it. Both those guys, by the way, show just a tremendous amount of heart. But it seems like right now, like I said, they can't get out of their own way. If they can somehow get something going, that roster has more talent, I feel like, than almost anybody in the Bayside, but they just can't seem to put it together.
Well, one thing we never argued was the talent on that roster. I feel like Bennett, like you said, has one of the more talented rosters on the team in the Bayside Conference, just not the smartest team as far as decisions go. They've played all the Bayside Elite teams on the road here lately. It'll be interesting to see how they do at home. Unbeaten with the bleacher creatures cheering them on. Seems like they really get a lift from those guys. So we'll see what happens down the stretch here. Teams got to come to Bennett. You know how that environment is.
Bleacher creatures are no joke. They're the real deal this year.
Yeah, well, Bennett not the only team at home, hot at home right now. Sussex Tech looking for their 3rd win in a row in their home gym. And speaking of crazy student sections, check out
there
the Tech Pack.
Tech Pack.
Going wild as usual. CR coming out to play, though. Jaquan Hooks gets the corner 3 to go. And check him out. A little look over there to that crowd. Let them know he's there. But back comes Tech. Wild Billy Ball misses the turnaround hook. But you know who's there as usual. Shawan Sykes can't get one to go. But he's so good and so crafty around the rim. The second one is good. Look at this big man bringing up the ball. Oh, my. That does not usually end well and did not end well for Tech on that one. Jameer Seller gets the hoop and the harm and 1 to go. Into overtime now, and you know who? Tech leaned on Sykes this whole game. Splits the double, gets the lay-in to go with the tough take. Finished with 28 on the night as Tech wins this one in overtime, 77-74. Really solid win for Sussex Tech. Like we said last week, they're coming up on a big stretch. If they want to get into one of those playoff spots in Division I, a huge game coming up on Dover on Tuesday. They lost at home to the Senators in their first home game this year. Now they'll have a chance to return the favor, maybe give Dover their first home loss of the year.
That's definitely going to be an exciting one. I tell you what, quietly this team, though, they had a tough stretch there in the Governor's Challenge. They lost a few games going in, but I tell you what, they've actually won 4 straight now and seemingly have righted that ship. And that Dover game, though, is going to be the true test that everyone's looking for. If they can pull out a win there, I mean, they are now back into that conversation of, getting to the playoffs. And it continually, we say it every week, comes down to this kid Sykes. I mean, he's unbelievable. He takes them every night. It feels like he is leading the game in scoring, and he just does tremendous things on the basketball court. But, I need a little balance, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. Dover's no joke either.
No.
All right, well, it's time for our first commercial break, but keep it right here because coming up next, we are talking some more high school hoops. Cape was taking on said Dover. Highlights of that game after the break.
I'm Shawan Sykes, Sussex Tech guard, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.